Malaysia, located in Southeast Asia, contains two peninsulas which are divided by the South China Sea. The northern part of Malaysia is referred to as Peninsular Malaysia, while the other, which is located on Borneo, is referred to as East Malaysia. The capital of Kuala Lumpur is located on Peninsular Malaysia. Since it is in the vicinity of the equator, most of the year, Malaysians enjoy a tropical climate. Before Malaysia became an independent state, its territory was under British control, along with many other places surrounding it, collectively known as British Malaya. These areas were under an agreement called the Straits Settlements, established in 1826, which included Singapore, Malacca and Penang, two territories that make up modern-day Malaysia, Christmas Island, Cocos, and the Labuan Islands.
During World War II, the Japanese successfully seized a great majority of the Straits settlements. After Japan lost in 1946, the Straits settlements were dissolved, leaving Penang and Malacca to the Federation of Malaya. This federation was established on February 1, 1948. Establishing these new crown colonies was Britain's idea to rebuild the government that Japan had destroyed during the war. Though the Federation of Malaya was established in 1948, Britain was still involved in defense tactics and foreign affairs. The new federation was still under supervision of a British High Commissioner. When rebels, who opposed the federation, began a guerrilla war against the government, British forces helped Malayan forces capture and kill hundreds. The rebels supported the development of a communist government in Malaysia and opposed British and Western ideals. Britain helped protect the new Malayan government from rebels, making it disliked by the communist supporters. Led by Chin Peng, rebel forces led 8-year warfare against British and Malayan forces, creating the Malayan People's Anti-British Army. This anti-British group of communists had 7,000 troops at its most populous time. However, in 1957, when the Malayan Federation became an autonomous state in the British Commonwealth, rebel activity from the past began to die down.
With the promise of independence from colonialism came an unwanted communist force of rebels who opposed the new Malaysian government. These communist supporters began a guerrilla war against the government and acted out by raiding government facilities, police stations, and military installations. These rebels were supported by Indonesia and the Philippines, who opposed the formation of Malaysia. The British, on the other hand, aided the Malaysian forces and helped them capture and kill hundreds of guerrillas. However, within 2 years, the rebels had renewed their strength and had a new target: rubber plantations. In order to take down one of the staples of the Malayan economy, the rebels killed workers and destroyed rubber trees. The contrast of British and Malayan government support against the communist rebels can be seen through two leaders, Sir Harold Briggs and Chin Peng. Sir Harold Briggs was a British High Commissioner. In order to fight the rebels, Briggs ordered strict controls on food and other supplies in the area thought to be populated by guerrillas. His tactics effectively starved many. Chin Peng, on the other hand, was a Marxist leader who supported and organized the guerrillas, forming the Malayan People's Anti-British Army. These two leaders were a microcosm for the nations and ideals they represented. The ultimate result of the battle between communist rebels and Malaysian support resulted in the rebellion being defeated by the government in 1960.
A major part of the decolonization of Malaysia included both the Malayan Communist Party and the United Malayans National Organization. In 1922, the Malayan Communist Party was led by a Marxist leader, Chin Peng. Peng contributed greatly to the Malayan Emergency, a guerrilla war fought by the Malayan Communist Party and the British, the Communists wanting an end to British domination and the installation of a communist government. Peng helped to organize the guerrillas into the Malayan People's Anti-British Army, later referred to as the Malayan Race Liberal Army. This organization fought the Federation of Malaya for over 8 years. Abdul Rahman was elected to lead the United Malayans National Organization in 1951, beginning his influential political career. After the first political elections, the United Malayans National Organization one majority in the Legislative Council, and Rahman, being the elected leader of the United Malayan National Organization, became the Chief Minister of Malaya. On August 31st, 1957, Malaya gained its independence and Rahman became the nation's first Prime Minister.
After a brutal transformation from a British colony to an independent nation, Malaysia proved to be a prosperous nation keen to embrace the new world of technology. By 2006, the nation had a population of about 25 million people and was moderately self-sufficient with major industries for oil, rubber, electronics, tin, timber, petroleum, and agriculture. The nation also utilizes its waters for oil, gas, and fish. Malaysia is planning a series of 5-year economic plans to be a completely industrialized nation by 2020. In terms of politics, the population of Malaysia is divided into 13 separate states. Of the 13 states, 4 have a governor and the other 9 have hereditary sultans. The hereditary sultan acts as the head of state, and of the 9, 1 is elected to be paramount ruler of Malaysia for 5 years. The states all have a single legislative body with state legislators to deal with state matters, who are re-elected in 5-year increments. The main purpose of Malaysia's military is to protect the country's national security and strategic interest while maintaining peace. The military is based around a defensive plan to protect Malaysia and other members of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Malaysia's military budget is equivalent to about 3.6 billion United States dollars.
Malaysia's foreign policy includes participation in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. This group of nations includes Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia. The ASEAN Declaration shows the goals and aims of these countries. 1. To accelerate the economic growth, social progress, and cultural development in the region through joint endeavors in the spirit of equality and partnership in order to strengthen the foundation for a prosperous and peaceful community of Southeast Asian nations. 2. To promote regional peace and stability through abiding respect for justice and the rule of law in the relationship among countries of the region and adherence to the principles of the United Nations Charter. 3. To promote active collaboration and mutual assistance on matters of common interest in the economic, social, cultural, technical, scientific, and administrative fields. 4. To provide assistance to each other in the form of training and research facilities in the educational, professional, technical, and administrative spheres. 5. To collaborate more effectively for the greater utilization of their agriculture and industries, the expansion of their trade, including the study of the problems in international commodity trade, the improvement of their transportation and communications facilities, and the raising of the living standards for their peoples. 6. To promote Southeast Asian studies. 7. To maintain close and beneficial cooperation with existing international and regional organizations with similar aims and purposes, and explore all avenues for even closer cooperation among themselves. In addition to their mutual goals, the members of the ASEAN also share the following same principles. 1. Mutual respect for the independence, sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, and the national identity of all nations. 2. The right of every state to lead its national existence free from external interference, subversion, or coercion. 3. Non-interference in the international affairs of one another. 4. Settlement of differences or disputes by peaceful manner. 5. Renunciation of the threat or use of force. 6. Effective cooperation among themselves. For years, Malaysia's internal relations were controlled by Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad. Mohamad was often aggressive and believed that Malaysia would be successful through his ideas for the future. He created a series of 5-year plans to industrialize the country, but they were destroyed by the 1997 economic crisis. In terms of political relations, in 1999, a disagreement between Mohamad and Anwar Ibrahim, the deputy prime minister, led to Ibrahim's arrest. Despite his early release, the trial for alleged sodomy was widely publicized.
Looking toward the future, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Sri Mohd Najib Tun Abdul Razak, states that there are 9 challenges Malaysia must face to fully develop as an independent nation. 1. Establishing a united Malaysian nation with a sense of common and shared destiny. 2. Creating a psychologically liberated, secure, and developed Malaysian society with faith and confidence in itself. This Malaysian society must be distinguished by the pursuit of excellence, fully aware of all its potentials, and respected by the peoples of other nations. 3. Fostering and developing a mature democratic society. 4. Establishing a fully moral and ethical society, whose citizens are strong in religious and spiritual values. 5. Establishing a matured, liberal, and tolerant society in which Malaysians of all colors and creeds are free. 6. Establishing a scientifically progressive society, a society that is innovative and forward-looking. 7. Establishing a fully caring society and caring culture, a social system in which society will come before self, in which the welfare of the people will revolve not around the state of the individual, but around a strong and resilient family system. 8. Ensuring an economically just society in which there is fair and equitable distribution in the wealth of the nation. 9. Establishing a prosperous society with an economy that is fully competitive, dynamic, robust, and resilient.
The cultures and art forms of the people of Malaysia have been thoroughly blended due to the many ethnic groups living in the country. The art from Malaysia was most generously influenced by indigenous traditions, China, and India. This is due to its geographical position in proximity to these countries. Malaysia has developed many of its own cultural activities, including sepak takraw, a sport similar to hacky sack, where the players must keep up a small rattan ball in the air using their arms, legs, heads, and shoulders. Top spinning and kite flying are also incredibly popular among many Malaysians. Although originally just for entertainment, both these sports have become national phenomena, attracting competitors from around the world. The largest kites, called moon kites, can be up to 10 feet wide and reach altitudes of 0.3 miles. Similarly, a spinning top, called a gasing, can weigh up to 10 pounds. Malaysia also has its own form of martial arts called silat. It is a major form of recreation for many Malaysians. The Malaysian Philharmonic Orchestra is the only international ensemble residing in an Islamic state. It is part of a plan called Vision 2020, which is Malaysia's plan to become a first world nation by the year 2020. This plan was later adopted by all the nations in ASEAN. The Malaysian Orchestra has been the first step to achieving this goal, and so far, all efforts have been greatly successful. Other parts of this plan include modernizing the capital, Kuala Lumpur. It is clean and modern with skyscrapers and high-end restaurants, as well as many other modern attributes. The nightlife of Malaysia has flourished through many ethnic and religious mixes. A form of gambling called mahjong is popular to many older Malaysians. Many urban dwellers also enjoy visual media, including television and cinematic arts.